Yeah, what we're looking at today is why plastering is very, very important in building construction. That means, why do we need to plaster our building? What makes it very, very important for us to plaster our buildings? So we'll take a look at what plastering itself, what it means to actually engage in plastering activity on site. So plastering is the process of applying a smooth or textured layer of mortar. So plaster can be a smooth layer or it can be a textured layer. You understand? But what we are considering is the mortar. So either a smooth layer or a textured layer of mortar on wall and ceiling. So it can be used on walls, it can also be used on your ceiling depending on how your design is. So it is essential for protecting surfaces. So the most important thing is for the plastering to protect the surface where you are using it. Maybe if you're using it on your wall, that means to protect the surface of your wall. If you're using it on your ceiling, it's also to protect the surface of your ceiling. So it helps to improve durability, enhance appearance, giving your building a good appearance, right? And providing a suitable base for finishes in building construction. So it helps to even give a suitable base for finishes in your construction, like finishes like your painting, your screeding and your painting. Because if you do your plastering properly, so your screeding will come on it, making the wall smoother and better than before you start your painting. Then we're going to take a look at the key reasons why plastering is done in construction. So the reasons why construction is done, which means the key reasons, or there are so many reasons. So we're just going to select a few five, but actually the key important reasons why plastering is done in construction. So the first one is to protect structure. So it actually helps you to protect the structure you've constructed, right, from weather condition, harsh weather condition, from all these molds and all these biological insects that affect buildings. You understand? Because sometimes you do your spraying and fumigation, but it may not even enter into the block hole if you leave your buildings like that without plastering. So plastering actually help you to even seal some of the partition, that is your wall partitions that are not well laid. All right, because if you leave your blocks like that, you'll be seeing all some of these insects coming out from the block, right? But if you tend to do adequate plastering, it helps to protect your building. So plaster protects your wall from weather, moisture, UV rays, right, and physical damage, increasing the life of the building. It actually even helps to increase the lifespan of your building. Then it actually prevents moisture entry. This is a very valid point because you see upon the plastering and the damp-proof membrane usage and all those things, you still see some walls, yes, moisture movement, seepage of water here and there. You understand? So let alone if you don't even do your plastering or use your damp-proof membrane. So plastering actually helps you to prevent moisture entry. It acts as a protective barrier that prevents water penetration and reduces the risk of dampness and structural decay. So it actually helps to reduce the risk of dampness in your building and also the risk of structural decay in your building. So it's a very, very valid point, and I think we should actually take note of this point. Then the next point is it improves appearance. So the aesthetic beauty and everything, because when you do your plastering, that is where the beauty of your structure actually comes out. You understand? If you just leave your building at block work, you are not going to really see the beauty. You understand? So when you do your plastering, that means your building is actually set to receive, the finishes that will come on it. So plastering provides a smooth, even and attractive surface, so that enhances the overlook of the building. So it actually enhances, because of that smooth surface, it enhances the overlook appearance of the building, be it your bridges, your whatsoever you're constructing. Once you do your plastering like this, you understand, everything comes out very very well. Sometimes even your retaining wall might not be straight, you might just get casting multiple times, but once you do your plastering, you see that everything becomes very very beautiful and nice. Then the next point is thermal and sound insulation. So it helps maintain indoor temperature by reducing heat transfer, and also minimizes sound transmission between spaces. Because as much as you used hollow block, right, in construction, then there's that tendency, you understand, of that thermal sound. So to actually insulate these thermal sounds, now you have to actually do a bit of plastering. You understand? Even the plastering thickness also matters too. You understand? Because when you do your plastering, it actually helps in reducing heat transfer, and also minimizes the transmission, between spaces. That is the sound transmission between spaces. So the next point we have is better finish and paint adhesion. Yeah, plastering is very very essential, because you can't do your painting on a block surface. You understand? Because it's going to look, unprofessional, unkept and dirty. So it is only when you do your plastering that the better paint adhesion will look beautiful on the wall. So plaster provides a perfect base for paint and other finishes, then ensuring long lasting beauty and durability. So for you to get that long lasting beauty and durability, so you must actually engage in plastering of your wall. So we're going to look at the application, and uses where this plastering is applicable, and where we make use of plastering. So internal and external wall plastering. You understand? So you, in your building construction, you do internal wall plastering, that is for internal finishes, and also for your external wall plastering, which is for your external finishes. So with that, your internal outlook and your external outlook is going to look appealing and amazing. So the next point is ceiling plastering for smooth finishing. Some people do plastering for their ceiling, right, whereas some people tend to apply pop. So depending on your design, but these are areas where plastering is usually applicable. Then plastering for bathrooms and kitchen to prevent dampness. Yes, so your areas where you make use of water the most in the building, which is actually your bedrooms and your kitchens. So plastering is actually done to improve, you understand, and prevent dampness. So there are some plastering maybe for your toilets and your bedroom. They tend to actually mix the mortar with some add mixtures, so to make the mortar more waterproof. So this way, it doesn't really affect the water coming into the bedroom, will not affect the wall of the bedroom. So plastering can be done in your bedrooms and in your kitchens. Then finishing layer before painting or walls. So plastering can also be done as your finishing layer before painting on your walls. Then or maybe you tend to make use of wallpaper, you understand, so you have to do adequate plastering, you understand, before you can even apply your wallpaper or your painting, right? The next point is renovation and repairs of old structures. Yeah, during your renovations of old structures, some of the ruptured walls, you tend to remove them, then you do plastering, because if you don't remove them and you just repaint like that, it's not going to come out well, because some of the walls are ruptured, maybe due to water or seepage or due to molds. But you have to just remove all those ruptured wall. Then you screed, you do your plastering, you screed, so that the wall will come out better. Then architectural and decorative plastering work. So there are architectural and decorative plastering work, and one of the architectural and decorative plastering work is your screeding, because after the main plastering, you still tend to make the wall smoother to receive a starting paint, so that the wall outlook will come out very very much better than it was before. So we're going to look at a typical plastering system. So there is a wall section. So the first one we have is wall base, right, which includes your bricks, then your block work providing structural support. Then we have the bonding agent, right, which improves adhesion between the base and the wall plate, the wall plaster rather. Then we now have the scratch coat, which is the fine coat. Then we have the finishing coat, which is the final smooth coat. Then we now have the paint slash finish, which is protective and decorative finish applied on the plastered surface. So this is how plastering is most important in construction, because it helps to give you that great aesthetic beauty that you want, helps to give you that great outlook of the building. So you do your plastering both internal and external to improve the beauty of your building, which tends to protect the structure, prevent moisture entry, improves appearance, then helps in thermal and sound insulation, then also better finish, right?